Hey guys, just got back from theater from seeing Civil War, a movie that I thought about originally. I was gonna go see it tomorrow along with The Long Game, but I was like, you know what? This is a movie I actually kind of been wanting to watch, so I might just go see it tonight. And there was no other screenings for Long Game after, so I couldn't go see that right afterwards. So Civil War has been a movie I've been generally looking forward to since I first got trailers for. Mainly because it's one A24, and two is Alex Garland. Alex Garland is a director. If you don't know who he is, he's the guy that directed Ex Machina. He also wrote 28 Days Later and 28 Weeks Later. He also wrote the movie Dread, the recent Judge Dredd movie that came out 10 years ago. That was fucking great. If you've never seen it, fucking go see it. Go watch that. Like I said, but he also directed Ex Machina, he directed Annihilation, and he also directed Men, which that was the last movie he directed, and I was not a big fan of that one, but I've been a fan of his work for the most part. Like anytime I see his name pop up, I'm excited, and I saw the trailers for this. I'm like, well, this is gonna be topical. And I was like, this is gonna be one of those movies. Like, well, this might hit a little too close to home and might be a little uncomfortable to watch, particularly in the climate that America is in right now. And yeah, this movie is uncomfortable to watch. It is hard to watch, but it's also a really fucking great movie. It's easily one of my favorite movies of the year. But it's also a movie I probably don't want to sit and watch again and again and again because of what I said. It's not an easy sit. It's kind of hard to watch. Um, and that's the. I mean, that is the movie's doing its job, and because that's what the movie wants you to feel. Um, I really did love the performances in this movie, particularly Kristen Dunst, who I haven't watched many of her movies over the last 10 years. I know she's been having some really great performances in the last 10 years, but I haven't really seen her in a bunch of shit. But this is like an Oscar nominated, this is an Oscar nomination easily for her. She's really good in this movie. She carries this thing as this wartime photographer who's gone to different countries during wartime and took photographs of the brutality of war and stuff like that. And now she's living in America, and there's a second civil war going on. This is a woman who's seen some fucking shit. You can easily tell by just looking at her. She's seen some shit, has been through some shit, and I mean they do a good montage throughout the movie of showing some of the stuff that she's done over the years, as far as being taking photographs of different wars and stuff like that. Um, I really liked the girl who played Jessie in this movie. She was I was like I saw her name in the cast list. It's like that girl sounds familiar, and I'm like, oh yeah, she was Priscilla Presley in the Priscilla movie that came out last year. I don't think a lot of people saw. I did. I actually really liked that movie. I'm continuously will say this a million times. Sophia Coppola is a fucking amazing director, just like her dad. Maybe even sometimes better than her dad, because her dad's kind of fallen off over the last 20 years. And she ended up being a really goddamn great director after she was such a terrible actress. But anyways, yeah, the girl who played Priscilla is in one of the main characters in this movie, and she's this a girl who wants to be a photographer, and Kristen Dunst is her idol. She gets to tag along with her, even though she's never been to battle or been to war zones before, and is getting a fucking hands-on experience with it. and reacts like any normal person would in these kinds of situations. Has never experienced these kinds of situations. Um, yes, like this movie is it's really held together by its cast. You got people like Nick Offerman who plays, I think, suppo- is supposed to be an allegory of Trump, but he doesn't like he's not just flat out doing a Trump impersonation. He's a dictatorship esque president. That's what he's supposed to be, and it's awesome seeing Nick Offerman, the guy who I will always recognize as fucking Ron Swanson. Like he's gotten to show his range as an actor over the last decade, man. And he's not just a great comedic actor; he's a really great serious actor, and like he has a lot of fucking range as an actor. I love fucking Nick Offerman, man. And like the short parts he's in this movie, he's not in it very much as the president. He is great. Uh, there's one other performance I'll talk about here in a second. This movie, I will say it's like I said, it does not sugarcoat things, man. It's when it gets violent, it gets fucking violent. When it gets intense, it gets really intense. There's some, ooh, there's two scenes in particular that stuck out now, like one especially that like I will never fucking forget. Like are easily the best scenes in the movie. The one where they were at the gas station. The first one is the one they were at the gas station, and you see these bodies hanging. These guys are still alive, hanging by ropes at like what used to be a car wash. That's a great fucking scene and really terrifying. And then when I think, oh, that it can't get any more crazier. Fucking Jesse Plemons scene pops up, and oh my god, like you see it in the trailers. That scene with Jesse Plemons, he's just in that scene. It's a scene that it's only one scene that he's in this movie, but it's a easily the best scene in the movie, the most intense scene in the movie, where he's got an open him and a bunch of buddies that were like their own kind of militia, I guess, got or have an open a grave where they got like dozens of bodies lying in there, and you don't know why they killed these people, but and like our heroes are come across them, and it gets really ugly and really scary. Like Jesse Plemons, the kid that I watched from the beginning as Landry from Friday Night Lights, and see him in this really terrifying performance. He's been a really good actor over the last decade too, and he's always I'm always a big fan of his every time when he pops up in a movie. Um, he is really fucking great. Like that one scene, that scene alone is worth the price of admission. It is great. One of the most intense scenes. Like I love this movie when you got a talented filmmaker like Alex Garland. Like he knows when to just let a scene breathe, and like there are scenes where there's no music, there's just sound, and sometimes there is just montage of horrific scenes with like this jolly good music, like, and it's very disturbing and very funny at the same time. This movie, like, I think the only laugh I got out of this movie was when this was unintentional, but when they're driving through, I think is like Pittsburgh or something like that, and I don't know, something like that. I think it's supposed to be Pittsburgh, and they show like these bodies hanging off a bridge. Right on the bridge, it just says "Go Steelers." Like that made me laugh. I don't know why I did, but it made me laugh. Uh, I will say, if there's any complaints about this movie, and I remember when I heard about this movie, I thought instantly, I was like, "Oh yeah, this is gonna be like a 2.5 hour, 3 hour epic." I'm glad it wasn't because like even at an hour and 49 minutes, there's still a lot of stuff you could probably cut out of this movie and it would have been just fine as it was. It would have just been as just as good. There's a lot of scenes that feel like they just repeat the same shit. and it's like okay, and like it's like it kind of gets a little tiresome and it gets a little boring. And some, especially towards a little bit in the middle. But it don't hurt the movie that bad. But like, if I could give any criticism, I could easily say there's shit you can cut out of it. Scenes like that scene where they're going for that winter drive through Wonderland, that could easily been cut out. Like, like there was no point to that scene, really. My opinion. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. But it started off great, but then it just kind of like went nowhere. Um, That's easily a scene I would fucking cut out of this movie. Like I said, I like the movie a hell of a lot. It's easily an A. Easily an A movie. Highly recommend seeing Civil War. That's as far as my review for Civil War. Tomorrow I'm gonna go see The Long Game, and until then, I'll talk to you guys later.